Hey guys, and welcome to Faewood. I was taking a look around my studio and thinking, do you know what's missing? A big fat magical cloud hanging from the ceiling. Don't you think so? I think so. I've seen these magical lamp or light fittings around the internet for a while and I think they look super cool. I've seen various different versions of them and I'm hoping to create my own version of it as well. I am going to make one with a bit of a spin on it though. So the ones that I've seen in the past, they are just white, you know, using like polyester or wool stuffing and, you know, look like a cloud. And then lit up with either regular light or coloured light and stuff like that. And that's all well and good, but I want mine to look cool even with the light off. So my thought is that I'm going to try and shade the stuffing with colours so that it looks super magical and like I have just cast some awesome spell on my ceiling that is creating this big cloud of gas that's going to turn into something. I don't know. My mind is creating the story of what this cloud could be and what it could possibly be creating. But I'm thinking of shading this thing in some really cool colours so that when you look at it, even with the lights off, it looks really cool. But in addition to that, I also got this stuff, which is strontium illuminate, I believe it's pronounced. So on some of my little rabbit holes that I've been chasing down when looking into various things, I stumbled across this strontium illuminate powder and it looks really damn cool. So it seems that like not all glowing powders are created equal, and apparently this stuff is the shit when it comes to glowing powder. So I had to get some and play with it. I am hoping to incorporate this glowing powder into my magical cloud of wonder, or whatever I'm calling it. So that not only does it look cool when you're just looking at it and it's not turned on, not only does it look cool when you turn it on and it's lit up, but it also looks cool when you turn it off again and it continues to glow. This is the idea, at least, anyway. So anyway, this is the start. I haven't even begun this project. I'm hoping it works. You guys will know by now. I say that a lot lately in my videos, but you will know now whether it worked out for me. So without further ado, let's get started. So first things first is creating a base for the cloud, and this is done using some paper lanterns. I got a whole bunch of different sizes because I figured that's the best way to make a realistic looking cloud. And I picked pink colours because I want some of that colour to come through. I want it to look magical. Now, attaching them was a little tricky. I had some florist wire and it's a matter of trying to squeeze your fingers in there and put some wire through, making sure it grabs onto a few, like a sizable area so it doesn't just rip right through that paper. So I did try and make it, put it through some of those ribs of the lantern. This does use a lot of hot glue if you make a large size light, so just keep that in mind. I realised partway through adding some of my fluff that I'd better put the lights in there first because it's going to be pretty hard to do that afterwards, so definitely recommend doing that first. And I used an LED strip light that I got from eBay. I'll try and link a similar thing down below. It has got a little remote control as well, which is handy if you want to switch it on and off that way. Well guys, I've spent the last couple of hours putting the last bits of fluff onto my lanterns with hot glue and I am absolutely caked in fluff now. And I've gone through so much hot glue to get this done. Thank goodness I kept my old crappy hot glue gun, even though I hate using it because I ran out of the other hot glue, and so I have some of this crappy hot glue that goes into... I just really hate that glue gun because it leaks and it's messy and it doesn't push the glue through. It's terrible. As soon as I run out of glue with that thing, it is going in the bin. But so this part I think is done, although I'm looking at it now and I'm like, I might have made this a little bit big. I have a tendency to go big or go home with just about everything I do. In fact, I said to my husband earlier that I thought the light was looking a bit too big. And he was just like, give me the eye roll and like, really? Because he knows that, yes, I tend to make things way too big, like costumes that won't fit out a door frame or wings that are so big that I hit everyone as I'm walking by and other things like that. So, I don't know, this lantern was 50 centimeters, I think, and I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't need one quite so big. So you can make this any size you like. It could be tiny, it could be massive like mine. I'm going to try and justify this by showing you the ceiling where it's going. So this thing is so big I can barely fit it in frame without standing back from it. And yeah, you can see I've used coloured lanterns because I wanted it to kind of peek through the fluff. So I've used like pinks and purples and stuff because to me that's the perfect colours for like a magical cloud. And it's going up all the way on my ceiling up there. Please forgive the cobwebs and so forth on my ceiling. It is a little bit hard to get to. That's my deer head. So, oh, and then I've got my fairy wings hanging up from here now. So hopefully it will end up living up there. So now that I've done this part of it, I'm wanting to try and mess around with colouring it a little bit more. I like that the colour comes through a little bit through the cloud, and I've sort of tested the light to see how that looks as well. But I want it to really look quite magical and everything in the daylight as well as when the lights are out. So I'm going to mess around with some inks and we'll see what we can achieve with the colours and stuff. So these are the same inks that I used in the wig project I did recently. If you watched that video, I think it was it Liquitex, the brand of the ink? It's an acrylic ink anyway, and I mixed it with 50-50 methylated spirits just to make the ink go further. And you can water it down a bit that way as well. So my goal with this is to think about where the shading would be. It would be in the crevices of the cloud. So I'm trying to put some colour into it in general, but then use the darker colours. So I had a dark blue, I had a purple, and I had a hot pink. And I shaded it from the blue through to the purple to the pink. So you really want to focus those dark colours in the crevices and then shade your way out. And this is just a little atomizer spray bottle that I got from eBay. Right, so I have my powder here and I really want to see how it glows. So I ended up getting one of those little blacklight torches, which I thought was a bit of fun, and that could be fun to play around with anyway. And you can activate these powders with this blacklight and they glow. So it's not nighttime here yet, but I think if I turn the lights off and everything, it's overcast enough that we can get a look at how they glow. Let's see if we can. I'm gonna just give them a bit of a activation here. Some of the colours apparently work better than others, and the thing is I got an orange one, which is this one, and then this one is a purple one, and I think I've got wishful thinking when it comes to this purple one. I have read that this one doesn't light up as good as other ones, but I really wanted a purple. There are like blue colours and stuff that look like they light up a little bit better. And then of course your green is the brightest, and some of the aqua colours and things light up quite well as well. And then someone had a red and a clear as well. I don't know, I could see myself going back and getting all the different colours because these seem like so much fun. So I don't know if that's enough UV light on here, but let's give it a try. We'll turn this off. Ooh, you can tell a little bit, like see the colour coming through. So these don't have a colour unless they're glowing. So that tells me this is lighting up, which is really cool. I can see the purple and the orange of these colours, and it's like I said, it's not nighttime, so the fact that you can see this is pretty cool. My concept at the moment is going to be that I want the cloud itself to have the purple glow, and I have these little styrofoam stars that I want to either hang from the cloud or maybe use wire to have them stick out from the cloud. I'm not sure how I want to do that yet, but then I figured I could put some of this orange on those stars. So I used a spray adhesive and figured that would help me with sticking on all of the glowing powder. Now I'm going to be honest and say the glowing powder on the cloud itself didn't really make much difference that I could see. I think it's just too much surface area to make it glow. The stars, on the other hand, did glow. So what I did was paint them with some acrylic. I used some gold rubbing wax on there, and then I mixed the glowing powder with some liquid varnish and painted that on top. Now, painting the glowing stuff on top did dull the gold, so you need to weigh up whether you want the gold of the stars or you want it to glow. I wanted to then hang these up, so I used pins that were a gold colour, and I've put some PVA on there and attached it to a little bit of fishing line so I could hang them up. And I also clipped some of the pins that I was using because I had these smaller stars, so I had a mix of big and small stars. It makes it look a bit more natural. And then what I did was bundle them into bundles of 3, making sure they weren't sort of overlapping themselves as well. Now to hang it up, I've used fishing line again, and that I've wrapped around the whole body of the cloud. I thought that would be nice and strong that way, and it sat in the grooves of the cloud, so it was perfect. And I decided against having the stars actually hanging from the cloud itself and put them on a piece of rope so that it could be mounted to the ceiling. It just helps because it's flexible to mount it to our A-frame ceiling. But I ran into a lot of tangling. I definitely don't recommend sitting everything on top of itself because far out, that took me ages to untangle. I just tied them in knots, as you can see, about 10 centimeters away from each other. And then we mounted it up with screws on the ceiling. I am so pleased with how this has come out. I think it looks super cool. It looks great when it's turned off. It looks great when it's turned on. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you've enjoyed this project, make sure you subscribe for more magical projects like this one in Faewood. And I'll see the rest of you guys next time in Faewood. Bye guys.